Spellbound Hound is a 1950 Mr. Magoo cartoon from UPA. This is directed by Burness and John Hubley with a voice cast, including, of course, Jim Backus and Jerry Hausner. And I rather enjoyed this one. The story is quite fun, the characters are really likeable, and it's definitely unpredictable. I won't say what happens in the end or the final third of the cartoon, but I will just say I really liked the direction it took. I liked the way the narrative developed. I had a lot of fun with this one. Mr. Magoo receives a phone call from his friend Ralph, who's not doing great. So Mr. Magoo says, let's go fishing. And then he thinks Ralph has arrived, but it's not Ralph. I should point out, if you're unaware, one of the recurring things with Mr. Magoo is that he doesn't have great vision. And when he answers the door, it's actually a dog. And this dog has actually chased the escaped convict of the story into the cabin. And of course, this hound is the hound of the title, but Magoo thinks the dog is Ralph. And it's quite cleverly done because he's talking to him as if he's Ralph, as if it's his friend, but he's also talking as if he could be talking to a dog. And it's very clever and very well done. Meanwhile, the dog is trying to get him to realise that the convict, the criminal, is in the cabin. But Magoo is just gathering his fishing stuff and getting ready to go fishing with Ralph, who is actually the dog. And I'll say no more than that. But I found this to be a really fun concept. And I really liked all of the characters. I really liked the Bloodhound. I thought he was beautifully animated and definitely a character with a lot of emotions. He could portray a lot of emotions, which is pretty impressive. And the convict as well, the criminal. We don't get to know him too much. We don't get to see a lot from his perspective. But I did like the design of the character. I like what he brought to it. I like the pacing of the narrative, the development of the narrative. And as I said, I won't spoil what happens later on. But I certainly found it to be a pretty interesting story. Definitely one that I enjoyed. If you're already a fan of Mr. Magoo and you haven't seen Spellbound Hound, I thoroughly recommend it. If you're new to Mr. Magoo, I'd say it's as good a place as any to start. Definitely a really great cartoon. Glad I've seen it and very happy to recommend it.